with one, lets it fly.
You're looking at the photo, but what you're not seeing is the real story because, well, everyone's eyes were on Caitlin Clark having a casual post-game chat with New York Liberty Stars. The most important figure in the entire frame was standing quietly in the background, her agent. Erin Kane, calm, composed, calculating, and absolutely not there by accident. Because what you're witnessing isn't a meet and greet. It's a warning, a signal, a chess move at the highest level of sports strategy. And it's about to flip the entire WNBA upside down. Because when a generational talent like Caitlin Clark starts showing signs of frustration, when her body is breaking down, her voice is being ignored, and her agent steps out of the shadows and into the spotlight, it means one thing: the power play has begun. And if you think this is just about an injury or a few quotes, you're missing the big picture. Because this is about control, leverage, and rewriting the very rules that hold the league together. And Caitlin Clark, she's not just playing basketball anymore, she's playing the whole game. While the cameras zoomed in on Caitlin Clark laughing with Sabrina, Ionescu, and Breanna Stewart, what most fans missed was the presence of the most dangerous person in that tunnel. And no, it wasn't a player. It was Erin Kane, Caitlin's agent, silently observing the scene like a strategist behind enemy lines. And her appearance wasn't some friendly drop-in or coincidence, it was a calculated move. A public statement made without a single word. Because agents of her caliber don't show up to games just to chat. They show up when there's pressure to apply and power to shift. And that exact moment, Clark, surrounded by Liberty royalty, with her agent lurking just feet away, sent an undeniable message to the Indiana Fever front office. Your superstar is being courted. The clock is ticking, and the next move belongs to you. Because what's happening here isn't gossip. It's groundwork, it's leverage, and it's the first visible sign that the balance of control is starting to tilt. Let's rewind to where the friction really started, because long before the tunnel photo went viral, the tension in Indiana had already begun to boil. And it started with something no franchise can afford to mishandle: the health of their star player. Because Caitlin Clark, known for her grit and durability, suddenly missed 10 games, 5 from a quad injury and 5 more from a groin issue. And while injuries are part of the game, what followed was not. Because after Clark was seen in tears on the bench, visibly shaken and emotionally drained, her coach Stephanie White brushed it off in front of the media, saying Clark was just feeling a little something in her groin. And those 3 words, a little something, were a dagger. A public dismissal that said more about how this organization views its most valuable player than any press release ever could. Because when a player is breaking down and the coach minimizes it, it doesn't just damage trust, it ignites a fire. And for an agent like Erin Kane, that's the green light to start planning an exit strategy. And Caitlin didn't stay quiet, because when a superstar feels dismissed, she speaks up. And Clark did just that, telling the media directly that she plays her best basketball in transition, that she needs the ball in her hands with open space to operate, because that's when she's most dangerous, most electric, most unstoppable. And that's not just a suggestion, that's a blueprint from the very player who's filling arenas and spiking ratings across the country. But instead of embracing that insight and building around her strengths, the Fever coaching staff responded by saying they prefer having 2 primary ball handlers to avoid Clark playing under duress for the full 94 feet, which might sound like smart management until you realize it's completely misaligned with what your generational talent just told you she needs to thrive. And this isn't just a strategic disagreement, it's a philosophical gap, a growing divide between the player and the system. And when that happens, players don't argue, they escalate. And that's exactly what Caitlin did by letting her agent step in to start shifting the narrative and applying pressure where it hurts. Now zoom in on that now iconic tunnel moment: Caitlin Clark surrounded by Liberty stars Sabrina, Ionescu, and Breanna Stewart, with coach Sandy Brondello close by and Erin Kane just a few steps away. And let's be very clear, that was no coincidence. No post-game pleasantry, no harmless chat, it was a message. A signal blasted straight to Indiana's front office that their most valuable asset is being watched, being welcomed, and maybe even being courted by the reigning power in the league. Because Stewie's not leaving New York, Sabrina's not leaving New York. That team is built to win and built to last. And when Clark is seen engaged with that core while her agent oversees the whole thing, it's not just optics, it's pressure. And when that photo hit the internet, fans noticed, analysts noticed, and you better believe the Fever's decision makers noticed, because that wasn't just a conversation. It was leverage captured on camera. And it told the world, if Indiana won't prioritize their superstar, there's a whole championship caliber machine in New York that will. And here's where the timing becomes everything, because while most people saw that tunnel meetup as a viral moment or a spicy rumor, insiders knew it was far more strategic. Because right now, behind closed doors, the WNBA is rewriting its collective bargaining agreement. The CBA, the document that dictates everything from how long teams can control players to when and how stars can move. And guess what? Both the league and the players opted out of the previous one, which means the entire structure is being renegotiated from scratch. And Erin Kane, representing not just Caitlin Clark but a powerful roster of talent, is right in the mix. Not waiting for 2028 when Clark becomes a restricted free agent, not playing the slow game, she's moving now, using Clark's public frustration, the coaching tension, and the viral spotlight as leverage to shape new rules that don't just benefit Clark, they shift the power dynamic for every star in the league. And that's not a theory. That's a master plan already in motion. So let's break down exactly how this master plan works, because Erin Kane isn't just negotiating for a better deal, she's changing the rules of the game itself. And the key to her strategy is using Clark's situation as the spark, the example, the excuse the players' union can bring to the negotiating table and say, look at what's happening, this can't keep going. And that's how real change happens. Because while most people are thinking about contracts and trades, Kane is thinking about clauses, about early exit windows, about shortening the years a team can hold a player hostage in restricted free agency, about introducing mechanisms that let rookies like Clark voice their dissatisfaction and trigger movement sooner. And all of that, every tweak, every new protection, every shifted timeline would quietly but directly benefit Clark without ever demanding a trade, without ever going public with threats, just by rewriting the landscape so that what looks impossible now becomes completely legal and inevitable tomorrow. And that is how chess is played in sports at the highest level. And if you think this whole plan is just about Caitlin Clark, think again, because looking right behind this drama is the biggest shift the WNBA has ever faced. And it's already locked in on the calendar, because according to league insiders, a staggering 87.5% of this year's All-Star players are set to become unrestricted free agents in 2026. Nearly 9 out of 10 of the league's brightest stars will be free to walk with zero restrictions, zero matching rights, and total control over where they go. And that means one thing: super teams could form overnight, dynasties could collapse in days, and the entire balance of competition in the WNBA could get ripped apart and rebuilt in a single off-season. And what Caitlin Clark and Erin Kane are doing right now isn't a reaction to that, they're laying the groundwork ahead of it, testing the system, forcing changes through her case so that by the time those 2026 stars hit the market, there's already a new player-first framework waiting for them. And if this works, Clark won't just be a star, she'll be the blueprint that reshaped the future of the league. So here it is, the entire chessboard revealed. Every move made with purpose, every signal loaded with pressure, and the master plan playing out in real time. Because this isn't some emotional reaction or short-term stunt, this is a multi-phase takedown of the old WNBA power structure. And it starts with step 1. The viral tunnel moment, the image that changed the conversation overnight, not just because of who was in it, but because of what it represented: misalignment, frustration, and opportunity, all captured in one frame. Step 2. The CBA leverage play, using the controversy and discontent to fuel new demands inside the collective bargaining negotiations, a way to reshape the rules not just for Clark but for every player in her position. And step 3. The silent checkmate, forcing Indiana into an impossible corner, where they either risk losing the league's most valuable player or hand her the power now before she takes it later. because this isn't about a trade today. It's about engineering a future where a move to New York or any other team becomes not just possible but inevitable, on her terms, her timeline, under her control. And when that happens, when a player still locked in a rookie deal can shift the entire landscape of a professional league, that's not just superstar empowerment, it's revolution. So now the pieces are all in place. The frustration in Indiana, the tunnel photo that sparked 1,000 questions, the agent moving like a general in the shadows, the collective bargaining table being reshaped in real time, and the coming free agency explosion that could turn the WNBA into a league where players, not franchises, hold the keys. And at the center of it all is Caitlin Clark, the face of the league, caught in a storm that she may not have created, but one she's learning to control. And the real question isn't just what happens next, it's who makes the next move, because this isn't about whether Clark demands a trade or whether Indiana bends under pressure. This is about setting a precedent, rewriting the rules, and flipping the league's entire power dynamic upside down. And if this strategy plays out like it's designed to, Caitlin Clark won't just be remembered for her points, her records, or her highlights. She'd be remembered as the player who changed the WNBA forever. And now it's your turn. Drop your thoughts in the comments. Tell us if you think this is a brilliant masterclass in sports strategy or a dangerous gamble that could cost everything. Hit the like button if this breakdown opened your eyes to what's really happening behind the scenes. And subscribe so you don't miss what's coming next, because this isn't just a basketball story anymore. This is a battle for control, and we're tracking every move.